Go.
Hi, I'm Sophia.
I'm Giannina.
And I'm Kenya, and we did
Alice in Wonderland
by Lewis Carroll.
Firstly, for the plot summary, Alice catches sight of a white rabbit running by her. The white rabbit pulls out a pocket watch, exclaims that he is late, and pops down a rabbit hole. Alice follows the white rabbit down the hole and comes upon a great hallway lined with doors. She finds a small door that she opens using a key she discovers on a nearby table. Through the door, she sees a beautiful garden, and Alice begins to cry when she realizes she cannot fit through the door. She finds a bottle marked "Drink Me" and downs the contents. She shrinks down to the right size to enter the door, but cannot enter since she has left the key on the tabletop above her head. She discovers a cake marked "Eat Me," which causes her to grow to an inordinately large height. Still unable to enter the garden, Alice begins to cry again, and her giant tears form a pool at her feet. As she cries, Alice shrinks and falls into the pool of tears. The pool of tears becomes the sea that eventually leads her into Wonderland. After a series of small adventures, she comes across and meets a caterpillar sitting on a mushroom and smoking a hookah. He tells Alice that different parts of the mushroom will make her grow or shrink. She shakes a part of the mushroom and her neck stretches above the trees. Alice eats another part of the mushroom and shrinks down to a normal height. She wanders until she comes across the house of the Duchess, who is nursing a squealing baby as well as a grinning Cheshire cat. As she leaves, the Duchess hands Alice the baby, which Alice discovers is a pig. Alice re-enters the forest where she meets the Cheshire cat again. The Cheshire cat explains to Alice that everyone in Wonderland is mad, including Alice herself. The Cheshire cat gives directions to the March Hare's house and fades away to nothing but a floating grin. She finds the March Hare, the Mad Hatter, and the Dormouse having tea together. She learns that they have wrong time and are trapped in a perpetual tea time. After saving several gardeners from the temper of the Queen of Hearts, Alice joins the Queen in a strange game of croquet. The Queen of Hearts sends Alice with the Griffin as her escort to meet the Mock Turtle. She shares her strange experiences with the Mock Turtle and the Griffin, who listen sympathetically and comment on the strangeness of her adventures. They then hear an announcement that a trial is about to begin, and the Griffin brings Alice back to the croquet ground. The Knave of Hearts stands trial for stealing the Queen's tarts. The White Rabbit, acting as a herald, calls Alice to the witness stand. The Queen becomes furious with Alice and orders her beheading, but Alice grows to a huge size and knocks over the Queen's army of playing cards. All of a sudden, Alice finds herself awake on her sister's lap, back at the riverbank.
As for the characters, we have Alice, our protagonist, the White Rabbit, Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, the Caterpillar, the March Hare, the Dormouse, the House of Cards, the Mouse, the King of Hearts, and of course, the Queen of Hearts.
One of Carroll's themes from within this colorful story is the idea of complete nonsense. An example of this is when the Hatter asks Alice, "Why is a raven like a writing desk?" This lets on that Carroll's purpose was to be written.
This setting takes part in two places, the real world and the absurd universe of Wonderland.
Lewis Carroll, whose real name is Charles Ludwig Dodson, was born on January 27, 1832, as the third child of 11 siblings. Being a predominant member of his church well into his adulthood, a man by the name of Henry Liddell became the church's dean and ultimately Charles's good friend. Henry had 3 daughters by the names of Lorena, Edith, and Alice Liddell. One day, Charles took the girls on a boating trip and eventually told them the story of a little girl named Alice and her adventures throughout Wonderland. This story later became penned and published in 1865.